Kumusta ka? Thanks again for joining me, and thank you for continuing on this journey. It's going very slowly, but I do think I'm getting somewhere, and I do hope you're getting something out of it too. If you've got any suggestions for how I can make it more relevant, then please let me know. So last week I covered very simple greetings, and this week I've built on that, covering ways to introduce myself and others, and also talk about professions. I'll launch straight into it. So the first bit, what is your name? So if someone asks your name, they say Unsay, imong, pangalan. Unsay, imong, pangalan. Unsay is what? Imong is your. Pangalan is name. It's quite simple. And what's interesting here is that, like a lot of words in Cebuano that I've come across so far, pangalan can also be shortened, so that could be ngalan. I'll try to point these things out as I come across them, just for interest more than anything else, but I'll try to keep what I'm putting on here as simple as possible, just so it doesn't become too complicated. These small differences are things that have tripped me up over the first few weeks, and I feel like I keep going back over the same ground in some cases. But anyway, let's continue. So if someone asks your name, Unsay imong pangalan, you would respond, Ako si Chris. Ako is I. Ako si is I am. Ako si Chris. I mentioned last time that I'd touch on personal pronouns in this episode. So here's the different ones in the present tense. You can see it's easy to adapt them. Ako is I, ako si Chris. Ikaw is you, ikaw si Andre, you are Andre. Siya is he or she, siya si Rose. Siya si Jose. One thing that's of particular interest here is that in Cebuano the pronoun doesn't change depending on gender, unlike English. So siya could refer to a male or a female. Also, we saw that last time ikaw can be shortened to ka in some circumstances, and the same is true for ako, which can be shortened to ko. I understand that the long form must be used at the beginning of the sentence. Basically, if the first word is ako, it can't be shortened, but the shortened form can be used later on in the sentence. However, I won't use any shortened form of words unless I'm confident that that's the actual usage, just so it's clear in my mind. So the next bit was asking your job. Asking somebody's profession follows the same question structure as above. Unsay imong trabaho? And the response to that would be Enhinyero ko, I'm an engineer. Or if you're referring to somebody else, Propesor ka, you're a professor. Doktor siya, he or she is a doctor. And it's interesting here that the long form or the short form of the pronoun could be used. Enhinyero ako or Enhinyero ko, as I've used it. Likewise, Propesor Ikaw, Profesor ka. And if you wanted to learn more about personal pronouns in the singular or plural form, I'm likely to cover the plural later on down the line, but there is a good YouTube video on Gary and Riansi's Bisaya channel, and I'll provide the link for that below. The next bit is, where are you from? Taga-America. Taga means from, and asa means where. Where are you from? If someone's asking where you're from, Taga-America, you can respond Taga-UK, ako, I'm from the UK. British ko, I'm British. So then using the personal pronouns above, it's easy to refer to other people. Taga-America ka, you're from America. Amerikano ka, you're American. Or Taga-Germany siya, Aleman siya, he or she is German. So a simple dialogue using what we've learned this week and last week could be Mayon hapon Yusab. Kumusta ka? Maayo man ikaw? Maayo man salamat. Unsay imong pangalan? Ako si Chris. Ikaw? Ako si Donti. Unsay imong trabaho? Enhinyero ko. Ikaw? Doktor ko. Taga-Asaka? Taga-America ko. Ikaw? British ko. Okay, so I'm aware that there are lots of different ways of saying the same thing in Cebuano, and I'll include a couple of resources down below where you can find different ways of saying certain phrases. But I've tried to keep this simple, kind of as much for myself as anything else, because what I find is all the different variations of saying things gets really confusing. So I've tried to keep it simple week on week. So if you're following along, you'll know that I've been using the textbook Magbinisaya Kita Primer, and I'm still technically on the first chapter. The next thing that I'll be looking at is simple questions. So it's turning what we've learned in the past two sessions into questions. And I'll also touch on negatives as well, using the same things that we've learned so far. Anyway, as always, thank you for following along. For more information, visit learningsebuanowithchris.com. Thank you.